Hey, you guys. Good evening. It's a Saturday. Hi. So, just a quick one tonight. Ease and comfort. Ease and comfort. Um, in the book Alcoholics Anonymous, it talks about the ease and comfort that would come from, with the alcoholic and the addict from the first, drink or the or using, And I went to hear a speaker last night, and this lady, Megan, I really enjoyed her, and she talked about in after being in recovery for a little while, she started to recognize how she used things for ease and comfort. And my friend and I today were just making a little list. I mean, it goes on and on and on because many things in the world are just part of life, and people do things because they enjoy doing them, and but for the addicts and the alcoholic, often we we go to the extreme on things. You can relate. If you're an addict or an alcoholic, you can relate. We go to the extreme on things because we're looking for something out of it. We're not just, skiing for the love of skiing. We want to be the best. We want to be, or we're getting high on it, and we're getting a sense of ease and comfort. Nothing, I guess those are kind of natural highs, but if I'm going to do something to avoid, to get away from, to medicate myself, then I'm back in my addiction, and that's my experience, and I've done lots of it, and to name a few, work can be that way for me, and I'll bet for some of you, where I can be obsessed with work, and yeah, work can be there. Well, certainly sex. I escaped to that, for many years, or relationship, trying to be with somebody because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to face life. you know, oh, so many things. I remember, I'm buying a big condo. I had this beautiful condo, but it was all about identity, and it was all about, showing up, having this beautiful home, and a lot of that, I think is in for a lot of people. We do that. So, but for the addict and the alcoholic, who's, you know, it, life depends on honesty, honesty and willingness and open-mindedness, but honesty, we have to see, we have to be aware all the time of when we're, off the beam, in a sense of trying to get something, what happens to the psychic change that that Dr. Young spoke about, and he's quoted in our book, Big Book of AA, that the psychic change really is we go from what's in it for me, so we're our life of doing whatever we're doing to get more, to look better, to, we want approval, all of those things, to how can I serve? So in the service game, you know, even if we go a little over the top, even if we're a little competitive in the service game, at least we're giving. We're there in a way that we're serving, and it's been an interesting one for me because in service, the lesson that we learn in working with addicts and alcoholics is that we can't take credit for the results, and we can't be responsible for the results. We just do the work, and we let it go, and as humbly as possible, just to say, okay, thank you for this opportunity to serve, and it really changes, from hey, look at me, to none of that, but ease and comfort, we did it in a lot of ways, fast cars, right? Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's so we're so like the child, the 13-year-old is still saying, "Dad, look," and and we're trying to get a hit, a dopamine hit, or some sort of comfort out of that. So that's my little talk about ease and comfort. If any of you can relate, I'd love to hear. What's your experience with that, and if you watch this either on YouTube or on Facebook, I love comments. To be able to just chat a bit back and forth, and show yourself a little bit, and it would be, I guess, of help to me if some of this stuff is of interest to you or not. My whole thing about doing this is that it's like it's in me to do it. There's I don't get paid to do it. But it's in me to do it. I spent 40 years. I'll call it searching, but what I was looking for, I didn't realize was already me. It was already in me. It is the essence of me, and I'd spent, somehow I got, as a child, I got misdirected, if you will, and I think for most of us on the planet, are trying to accomplish something so that we'll feel better, we'll be happy, and it can't be gotten from outside, and we get depressed because we're acting, we're trying to be something that we think we're supposed to be, so we're acting, and we know that we're not that person that we're acting like, so I guess that's why we seek ease and comfort, because we know that we're full of shit, and I know that you might not like this, but and we also there's a sense of anger that comes because we realize that it doesn't work. But for many of us, for years I didn't know what would work, even though it was right in front of me. I couldn't see it, and then I realized that as I let go of trying to make it work, or trying to get my way, or trying to feel that sense of ease and comfort of you, just let go of it and felt what was happening now, and to be in this moment, that the thing I was looking for was right there, the beingness, that nothing's missing, no sense of emptiness, no sense of apprehension, no sense of disappointment, because it's all here now. And I know that that's what people want, that, to find that. And so I encourage you to, pursue, if you will, look, dig. One of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm reading the Tao Te Ching from Stephen Mitchell, and because my mind tends to want to go back to the old thinking, tends to want to judge everything as good or bad, or right or wrong, or, and tends to want to think of things in timelines. I got to be this by that time, or get this done, or something like that in timelines. And everything in the Tao is about now. And if I can be here now, then I can always be here, because it's always now. Does that make sense? So just, try to see if you can hear this in this reading. I'm reading chapter 25, which is only 4 paragraphs. And I haven't read it. I'm reading it right now for you. So, and for me. So we'll see what it says, and I'll guarantee you it's going to say, be here now. Be with what is. Life on life's terms. And breathe. And pause. Okay. 25. This, by the way, is Stephen Mitchell. His translation. I suggest you get a copy. It's like, if you're in recovery, there's a couple of books that we all need to have. The Sermon on the Mount by M. Fox is an amazing book, and the Bhagavad Gita. It's a translation also by Stephen Mitchell, but there are many. And this one, the Tao Te Ching. You know, if you're really interested in going deep into who we are, being who we are, not understanding who we are, but knowing that we're who, you know, the understanding is around knowing who we're not. Letting go of all of our identities. You know, we don't have to be identified with anything. You know, we can just be free. We don't have to be identified as a parent. We can still be a parent without being attached to the identification. You know, we can still be a husband or a wife without being attached to what it should look like. We can call ourselves those things, but we're so much more than that, or in some ways less than that. Here we go. 25. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe, for lack of a better name. I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe follows the Tao, and the Tao follows only itself. Be here now. Surrender all identities. Let go of desire. So that was chapter 25. Stephen Mitchell, in the back, would have written a small piece about that. And I do mean small. Oh, there it is, chapter 25. Mother of the Universe. As chapter 51 says, the Tao gives birth to all things, nourishes them, maintains them, cares for them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself. These are the four great powers. Ho hum. Get this book. It's beautiful. Okay, guys, love you lots. And life is good, eh? I mean, we can't even really say that. It just is. And in the isness, it's beautiful. Nothing's missing. Thanks. Love you so much.